If you're like most drummers, the click track scares you. Maybe you've been in a recording studio and you've got red light fever and all you can hear is the clonk, clonk, clonk of the time overlord that is the metronome. Or maybe you just find it really boring to practice to. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get over your fear and show you 3 exercises to make your practice more fun. Let's get to it. When you first turn on any metronome, it's at 120, 4/4 time with an accent on the 1, and it sounds like this. That quarter note click is possibly the least beneficial thing you can do with a metronome. It ends up just being target practice. You try to aim for that note, and as long as you hit that, your brain says, oh, I must be in time, even though most of the other notes are probably out of time. Whenever you're trying to learn something new, it's going to be hard and it's going to be challenging. And when you add in trying to work out how fast these 8th notes or these 16th notes should be, it becomes too much. So what I like to do, and the first exercise I'm going to show you today, is actually just to get the metronome doing all of the notes. Think of this like adding 4 stabilizers to your bike when you first start learning. It's actually going to be really, really, really hard, and you have to try so hard just to fall off that bike with those 4 stabilizers on. I use this idea when I'm working on new rudiments, complex fills or grooves, or even when I'm just improvising in a set subdivision that I'm not that comfortable with. It provides me with a safety net and allows me to focus on working on the ideas that I'm actually working on and mastering them instead of having to worry about my time. So let me show you me playing linear 16th note grooves, and we're going to set that metronome to all 16ths. Good time is made up of 2 different but connected ideas, solid pulse and solid meter. Together, they make good time. Now, solid pulse is where you stay solid for a longer period of time, over 4 bars, 8 bars, even an entire song. And solid meter is where you have command over the individual subdivisions and you always place them accurately. Different click exercises that you might see online or might get given by your teacher work on one of these different elements. So the ands, for example, placing the click on the ands, that will work on the first element, subdivision. And playing a gap click where it's on the first of every bar, that will work on your pulse or the second element. But what if we combine them? So in the next exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to take a click and we're going to play it on every 1 and 3. To get there, what you want to do is you want to take your metronome and divide whatever tempo you want to play at. So let's take 100 beats a minute. I'm going to divide that click into 50. And then I'm going to imagine that that click is on the and of 1 and the and of 3. This is a real challenge to both your subdivision and your pulse. Let's try it out. Now, if you're finding it hard to actually get into these displaced click ideas, I've got a little trick for you. So you want to start with a metronome, and it works better if you have a mechanical metronome, not a phone, because the phones have a little lag when you press play. But basically start your metronome at whatever tempo you want. So let's say 60 beats a minute. Now you start counting along with that metronome at the subdivision that you want. 1 and 2 and then stop 3 the metronome, but keep counting. And 1 and 2 and 3 then start the metronome again, but on the place where you want that metronome to be. So in this case, the and of every 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The click doesn't always have to play evenly spaced notes. With a little bit of creativity and a little bit of that mental switch, we can actually set it so it will do different polyrhythms over the top of what we're playing. So for example, and this is what we're going to do today, we could set it to play a dotted 8th note rhythm. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, I keep playing at that pulse, but my metronome is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. To start with, let's set our metronome to 120. We're going to remove all of the accents. No accents is super important and super helpful. As it's playing, I want you to try to count, then try and clap the quarter note as that's playing. Maybe you want to play it on your hi-hat, and then away you go. Try and play on top of this click. with all of these exercises, maybe with the exception of the first one, it's gonna be tricky and you're probably gonna fall apart. But you gotta keep trying this stuff, keep it interesting, keep it challenging, and your time will improve. So there's 3 creative different ways that you can use the metronome, but I would love to know your ideas, so let's start a conversation in the comments below. Until next time, guys, happy drumming, and I will see you very soon.